An Ashby couple who are avid Red Sox fans planned a trip to spring training back in 2020. 2 years later, they're still not comfortable traveling, and baseball is in a lockout.
So the couple decided to postpone, and when JetBlue said no, their next call was to the I-Team's call for action. WBZ's Cheryl Fiandaca shows us what happened next.
We don't get there in time for the game. We get there
for batting practice.
Steve and Mary LeBlanc have traveled all over the country to watch the Red Sox play.
Cleveland, Toronto, Cincinnati, Kansas City.
Back in 2020, they planned a trip to Fort Myers to watch the Sox play during spring training.
It really is a gorgeous field. It's not as big as Fenway Park, but it's a nice replica.
But when the pandemic hit, their flight and spring training were canceled. And while they were technically due a cash refund, they agreed to accept a travel bank to use at a later date.
We thought, yeah, that's fine, because we'll just do the same thing next year.
But last year, vaccines were just starting to roll out, and they didn't feel comfortable flying. And this year, there's Omicron and a lockout.
We wanted to just move it till next year. But unfortunately, JetBlue is not doing another extension.
Steve tried a number of times to get JetBlue to make an exception, but the airline refused.
I was just thinking, we're going to lose our money.
So I did start realizing I was not going to get a positive answer. And so that's when I called for action.
And we reached out to JetBlue, who told us, as a one-time courtesy, we have extended the expiration of this credit by 1 year. We look forward to seeing them on one of our flights when they are ready.
I was just ecstatic when you got back to me and said, you've got an extension to 2023.
Mary and Steve are now planning their trip for next year.
It's great that WBZ has this service, and, you know, it's been such a pleasure working with you. I feel like I made a new friend.
Airlines must offer a full refund if a flight is canceled and you're unable to rebook or simply decide not to fly. Many will offer a voucher or a credit, but you don't have to accept that. Cheryl Fiandaca, WBZ News.
Wow.
Cheryl's a good friend to have.
Yeah, and you know, they must be related to Rochi because they're nice and they also get to the games during batting practice.
Biggest Red Sox fans. Hope they have a good trip next year.